The entire food court at Riverside Mall went dead silent when this woman in a navy blazer and designer bag, looking like she'd just left a board meeting, snatched half my sub, took a monster bite, and then had the nerve to tell me I should buy her a fresh one because mine was, quote, contaminated by my germs. No, seriously, I'd barely taken 2 bites when she just swooped in like some entitled sandwich vulture. I remember thinking, is this real life or am I about to get pranked on camera? So my name's David Caldwell. I'm just a regular project manager downtown. Nothing special, but every Thursday my highlight is grabbing lunch at Porto's Deli in Riverside Mall. It's my little slice of heaven, real Italian subs, meats imported straight from Italy, bread, baked right there, and this prosciutto mozzarella combo that will make you forget every diet you've ever tried. On this particular Thursday in June, I just paid $12 for that perfect sub and managed to claim a corner table, a small victory, believe me, when I noticed her. Late 40s, gold button blazer hair, so perfectly styled it almost looked like a helmet, and a purse that probably cost more than my rent. She had this stare that said she was about to ask for the manager, but I just figured maybe she was hungry. I had no clue what I was in for. I'm sitting there enjoying the first bite, aged provolone, a little kick from the capicola man. You could hear angels singing when she stands up and heads my way with the kind of confidence you only get from ruining people's days for sport. She stops right in front of me, and in this voice that just echoes across the food court, she goes, "That sandwich looks divine. Where did you get it?" I try to answer, even point over at Porto's like, yeah, they make it fresh to order, but before I can even get the words out, she just leans across my table, grabs the untouched half, and chomps into it like she's the star of her own food show. And let me tell you, my face must have said it all because she just rolls her eyes, chews slowly, and tells me, "Sharing is caring, young man, and you should be honored. Someone like me finds your lunch acceptable." I just stare at her stunned and finally stammer out, "You just stole half my $12 sandwich. And get this," she takes another bite, sets the thing back on my tray with a face like she's just licked a subway pole, and declares, "Actually, it's too pedestrian for my refined palate. And now that it's contaminated with your peasant germs, you need to get up and buy me a fresh one. Extra prosciutto, no onions, I'm allergic." So now I'm thinking there's got to be a hidden camera, right? But no, this is her real life. I tell her as politely as I can while watching my lunch disappear that I'm not buying her anything. If anything, she owes me $6 for the half she just inhaled. Her face turns this weird purplish shade, and suddenly she's pulling out her phone, pointing it at me, and announcing to nobody and everybody that I'm harassing her, a woman in need. She starts saying she's got low blood sugar, she could faint any minute, and my refusal to provide sustenance is basically assault. At this point, everyone's got their phones out recording. You could feel the tension in the air, like, is she about to fake collapse or throw my drink at me? She clutches her chest, muttering about 911, and even pulls out a little notebook from her purse to jot down my physical description, while saying something about suing the mall for emotional distress. Honestly, it would have been hilarious if it wasn't so completely bonkers. That's when Marcus, the owner of Porto's Deli, walks over. He's this short, tough guy with a permanent scowl and the patience of a saint unless you mess with his food. He asks what's going on, so I give him the short version. She took half my sandwich, and now she wants me to buy her a new one. Marcus turns to her and, cool as ever, tells her what she did is theft and the security cameras caught everything. She just scoffs and says no court would ever prosecute someone for a tiny taste of food, especially with a medical condition. But Marcus pulls up the camera feed on his phone, and sure enough, there's the whole thing, her grabbing the sandwich, taking not 1 but 3 bites, time-stamped and everything. That's when the show really starts. She goes from snooty to downright combative, accusing Marcus and me of conspiring against her. Says her husband is a lawyer and she'll sue us all for conspiracy to commit fraud. Then she just grabs my tray, flings it on the ground, lettuce, tomato. Everything goes flying. The crowd gasps, some people laugh, and she spins around yelling that everyone's witnessing a hate crime and we should all be ashamed for not standing up for her. Mall security rolls in, led by Officer Janet Thompson, who looks like she's broken up 100 food court brawls before breakfast. Patricia, yeah, turns out her name's Patricia Blackstone, launches into this dramatic speech about being victimized and insists I be thrown out for hostility. Officer Thompson barely blinks, reviews the video from Marcus and everyone's phones, then tells Patricia she's being detained for theft, destruction of property, and disorderly conduct. Patricia actually tries to swings her fancy purse at Officer Cruz, which gets her an extra charge for assault. As they cuff her, she's yelling that her husband will have all our jobs, she's a pillar of the community, blah, blah, blah. The crowd just starts slow clapping like it's the grand finale on America's Got Talent. The real cops show up and take Patricia away in handcuffs. I'm still just standing there with my empty tray and a ruined lunch. Marcus, who's seen it all, offers to make me a new sub on the house. Suddenly, every food court vendor is handing me coupons and high-fiving me like I'm the local hero for finally standing up to the mall's most notorious complainer. Honestly, the whole thing felt surreal, like I'd wandered into a reality show and come out the accidental winner. 3 weeks later, I'd get a subpoena. Turns out Patricia's little stunt wasn't her first rodeo. She's got a whole history of pulling these entitled food heists at restaurants across the city. The prosecutor wants the max penalty. When the trial finally comes around, Patricia struts in wearing a conservative suit, trying to look like the world's most misunderstood housewife. But the video is brutal. Marcus testifies about his deli's reputation. Officer Thompson walks the jury through the purse incident, and about a dozen witnesses back up every detail. Patricia's husband, the lawyer, turns out to be a no-show. Her actual lawyer is a frazzled public defender who tries to say she had a diabetic episode. But the prosecutors got her social media post from an hour before, no diabetes, just bragging about scoring free samples by intimidating workers. Jury's out less than half an hour. They come back guilty on all counts. The judge is clearly fed up. You can hear it in his voice. He suspends her jail time but orders 200 hours of community service at the local food bank, serving people who really can't afford a meal. Fines her $2,000, makes her pay me $48 for my sandwich plus emotional distress. I'll admit that one made me laugh. $300 to Marcus for his lost business and covers all the court costs. That's another $1,500. The kicker, lifetime ban from the mall, every food place inside restraining order from me and Porto's Deli, and her name goes on a watch list that warns other restaurants in the county. Turns out 3 more places came forward during her trial. One chef described her snatching shrimp straight off another guest's plate. Now that's a power move, I guess. When the judge tallied up everything over $4,000, Patricia actually gasped and hugged her purse like it was the last piece of dignity she had left. The judge warned her any slip-up would mean immediate jail time. She just collapsed in her seat, hair a mess, muttering about conspiracies as the bailiff came to lead her out. So what do you think, was justice served, or was that all just overkill for a sandwich and some drama? Have you ever seen someone get what they truly deserved? Or do you think the punishment should fit the attitude as much as the crime? Drop your thoughts below and let me know if you've got a wild story of your own. Don't forget to comment, especially if you've ever tangled with a food court Karen. Your take on justice could be next up for debate.